it is time for our History Out There segment. And, of course, we like to do that with Harold Peacock. And he joins us on the line this morning. G'day, Harold.
Yeah, good morning, Damo. You also had a little sneaky ho-ho-ho sneak in there. I noticed that.
Yeah, I know. It's just one of those things, mate. But hopefully we've stopped that from happening now.
Yeah, look, this is the last piece of history before you go on holidays, Damo, so you're allowed to get excited.
Oh, I am excited, trust me. Now, mate, we're going to take ourselves back in time and look at the amazing Santa Clauses that have graced in Allora.
Yeah, look, there's been two particularly amazing Santa Claus who were in Allora and Warwick out in that district years ago. Now, our listeners would remember the last couple of weeks I've told you about the Dalby Santa Claus who was married 3 times and people kept dying around him.
Yes.
And the Toowoomba Santa Claus who was the first to be commercialised, but people died around him too. Today, I'm happy to say there are no deaths.
Oh, they all lived.
They all live happily ever after. And it's about Santa Clauses in Allora and Warwick who were just more amazing still. One had links with the British peerage, and the other holds a unique place in our history. Now, I'll start in 1914. That's when Mr. H.G. Deacon impersonated Santa Claus for the St. David's Sunday School in Allora. Now, his full name was Herbert Gladstone Deacon, and behind his Father Christmas disguise, he was well known in Allora as the president of the Progress Association, secretary of the Show Society, and manager of the Savings Bank. Now, Deacon was also executor of Australia's most sensational contested will of the early 20th century. That's when an unmarried Allora man of German descent by the name of William Michener died in Toowoomba in 1918, just as the First World War was coming to an end. He left an incredible £40,000 of property to charities in Germany.
Wow.
Now, that caused a problem, of course, because of the war. Authorities contested the will and it went all the way to the High Court. The result was that because of German war preparations, the whole estate was taken by the Queensland Public Trustees. Because of those reparations. And anyone who felt hard done by were advised to make the claim against the German government. So I suspect that never happened.
No.
But that wasn't the Allora Santa's only claim to fame. Deacon's son in the Second World War fought on the Kokoda Trail and became a prisoner of war, a POW of the Japanese, but he survived and came home. After the war, that son married a member of the British peerage. The wife's aunt was a socialite at Southport. Her grandfather was in the Queensland Legislative Council. Her great-grandfather was a brother of, a baronet and Lord Chancellor, and also the son of a baronet, Lord Mayor of London, and personal advisor to Queen Caroline. So she came from a very high stock. So Allora's Father Christmas in 1914 is probably the first and maybe the only Santa Claus in Australian history with peerage connections. Then there was a Father Christmas in Warwick in 1928, who also makes an historic claim. Miss Betty Rowland impersonated Santa Claus for the kindergarten at the Church of England Girls' School in Warwick, which today, of course, is St Catherine's. Her father was a Warwick accountant and Justice of the Peace. Her uncle was a member of the Warwick Fire Board, officer of the Queensland Military Forces, and a hardware shop proprietor. But Miss Rowland herself was destined for greater things. You see, what made her remarkable, what made Betty just so incredible, was she broke the stereotypes of the day. You see, she was a pharmaceutical chemist, she was a mechanic, and she was the only female Father Christmas that I've managed to find in newspaper history of the Darling Downs, and this is the 1920s. She's incredible. So between the Santa Claus with peerage connections in Allora and the only female Father Christmas in Warwick, you can see why, Damo, I get pretty excited about the history of the Darling Downs, because to me, every day feels like Christmas because there's always more history out there.
Yeah, exactly. Now, mate, as we mentioned a little earlier in the program, I know you love to research history as well. So if people have got a story, in their family or their community that they would like to get more information on, we just need the basic facts, don't we?
Yeah, that's right. And Christmas is often the times where we get some queries because people are having their Christmas dinner with family and they start talking about, I remember hearing about, this mystery in the family. Shoot it through. Send it to you, Damo, because, between the two of us, we'll find something out. Even if we've got to find, just some basic information, then ask some questions. You never know what history is out there. It's pretty exciting.
Well, no, that is true. So people need to send us all the details at 4akbrekkie@gmail.com. That's 4akbrekkie@gmail.com. And then we can certainly track it through for them and hopefully turn out some interesting stories.
Oh, there's always something interesting across the Darling Downs and the Granite Belt.
There certainly is. Now, mate, this is our final one for the year, and I would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas on behalf of all of our listeners, and thank you so much for bringing us some of the wonderful history of the Darling Downs to light on the program each and every week.
Thank you very much, Damo, and thank you, everyone, for sending in the kind comments. And, Damo, I think you should finish this segment today with a good ho, 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 just like you started.
Oh, Santa's not in at the moment. I can do my best. Ho, ho, ho. How's that?
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next year.